Hey you guys, if you want to see how I got this look, then keep watching. First I take my Revlon Color Stay and I dab a little bit on my hand and then I add the lotion to it. It's mostly a lotion. And then I mix them together in the palm of my hand. And then I put it all over my face. I cut it with mostly lotion because it kind of thins out the foundation, so it's not as heavy on my face. Because when it's too heavy, it makes me break out for some reason. So I just kind of see what I like and I add more if I need to, but it's mostly lotion. And then I take my Instant Age Rewind for my dark circles from Maybelline and I just put that right under my eyes where my dark circles are. How can you stay with a fat girl who say, oh, would you like to marry me? And if you like, you can buy the ring. She doesn't care about anything. Would you like to... I'm taking my little blending brush and I'm just blending out the edges of that so it doesn't look like I'm wearing a white mask, because that's not cute. And then I'm going to take my Dual Wet and Dry Powder Foundation. I've been using it since like 6th grade. I live by it. I love it. It's really light. And I'm just going to do this first. I'm going to set my under eye concealer just so it stays for the day. And then I'm going to go ahead and just lightly put it all over my face with the little sponge that it comes with. I don't really like using brushes that much anymore. I just I feel like I have more control over this little sponge, and I've just been using it for so long that I'm just used to it, so it doesn't matter how you do it. I just put it really lightly all over. And then I take my little spoolie and I brush out my brows to get all the product out of there that you might have gotten from your face products or whatever. And then I'm going to take my little brow brush and my Anastasia powder brow in dark brown. And I'm just going to use that to fill in all the sparseness in my brows. I have a lot of like empty spaces. I have really thin brows, so I need this to kind of fill in. Oh yeah, I got makeup all over me. My makeup desk is like disgusting. And so anyways, I'm going to use that to fill in my blank spots because as you can see, I have like really thin brows. So I just lightly do the very beginning of my brows. I like to keep that kind of free of most product, and I use the tail end of my brow to kind of pack in the product. And then I get a smaller little precise brush for my Anastasia dip brow in dark brown. This stuff's amazing. You only need a tiny bit of this stuff. Like a little bit goes a long way. And I apply it to my hand just so I can see what I'm doing and I have control over it. And then I start from the beginning of my brow and create a line. And I kind of flick it up as I'm drawing it to kind of blend out the harshness of it. And then I create my tail since I have none. I've been trying to grow out my brows, but it's not really happening. So I gotta create my own. And then I just start filling it in and blending upwards, and towards the beginning of my brow I flick upwards like that. I don't really like it to be that dense, so I try to blend it really well. Sometimes it just doesn't like to blend, and that's cool, whatever. I can work with it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take that same Revlon Color Stay and a tiny little concealer brush, and I'm just going to clean up the edges. And I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to my brows or anything really. So I really take a lot of time to make sure everything's perfect and perfect lines and really precise. Some days I can kind of get away with it being a little more messy looking, but I still like to have control over all of it. And then like towards the end when I'm done cleaning up my brows, if I notice any little blank spots that I missed, I'll go over with the powder instead of the Dip Brow cream, because the cream, when you use a lot of it, it builds up really and it looks really chunky and nasty. And then I'm just gonna brush through them a last time before I put my brow gel, which I get from Anastasia as well. I just get the clear brow gel. I want to try the tinted one, I just don't have it yet. And towards the front I like to brush upwards. And I kind of just go with my natural growth so it doesn't look awkward. And this stuff's amazing, it makes your brows literally stay there all day. And then of course don't forget to clean all that crap off your hands, because you don't want to be walking around with that shit. It's nasty. Sometimes I forget and I'm like, oh shit. Alright, and then I take my eyeshadow base from NYX. I don't know what color it is, it's like basically skin tone. And I just use my finger and I apply it to both my lids. And then I'm going to take my Lime Crime palette and use the lightest color for my highlight under my brow. And then I'm also going to put it in the middle of my eyelid, on the top, whatever you call that spot right there. I'm going to put it right there on both lids. And then I'm going to take Peach Smoothie by Makeup Geek, and I'm going to focus that in my crease, and a little bit above my crease for my transition, and blend it really well. Grab my Naked 2 palette and I'm going to use this color right here. Tease, I think it's called. And I'm going to focus that in the outer corner of my eye. I accidentally put a little too much product. You don't really need that much. I just haven't used it in a long time, but it's alright. I can work with it. And I just blend the hell out of it. Blend it towards the beginning of my eyelid and just through my crease and just go with it. Blend out the corners. Make sure it's all blended. Then I'm going to take Cocoa Bear by Makeup Geek. And I'm going to also put that in the same spot, but just a little more focused on the corner. Not as broad. And I'm going to also blend that in there.
I dreaded sunny days, so I meet you at the cemetery gates. Keats and Yeats are on your side. Wild, wild is on mine. So we go inside and we gravely read the stars.
Then after I make sure that's all blended out how I like it, I move on to the bottom of my eyes. Then I'm going to go into the Lime Crime palette, and I'm going to use that light shade under that one right there. And I'm going to apply that right to the bottom. I like to do this a lot on the bottom because I have like weird ugly bags under my eyes, so I try to cover it with this makeup and blend it out so it doesn't look as prominent. And then I'm going to take Cocoa Bear again, and I'm going to focus that on the outer portion of my bottom lid. kind of drag it towards the center and not really, I'm going to keep that color free from the beginning of my bottom lid, if you know what I mean. And I'm also just going to put it right in that corner right there just to make sure it's all blended nice. And I'm going to take this little brush just to blend out the edges on the bottom. I hate it when they're like strong lines. I'm going to go back into my Lime Crime palette and grab this dark color right here called Icon. And I'm going to use this little brush and I'm going to focus on the very corner of my eyes, like a very small space. And then from there I'm just going to gently blend outwards, but I'm still going to just try to keep that color right there so it doesn't ruin all my other blending that I just did.
Call me morbid, call me pale. I've spent 6 years on your trail.
Then I'm going to take Cocoa Bear again, and I'm going to do something I've never done before. Put that in the front corner of my eye. I just decided I wanted to try something new for this video, so I'm going to use that first, and then I'm going to use Icon, and I'm going to concentrate that a little in a smaller portion, if you know what I mean, and try to blend those together and try to not make it look so harsh. So I'm going to take my blending brush after that and try to blend them together and blend them out. And then after that I'm going to take Peach Smoothie again, and I'm going to try to just use that to blend out the edges to transition. I don't know what I was trying to do. I was just trying to like make it so it's not dark and then my skin, so I guess just as a transition. And then I'm going to go into my Naked 2 palette and I'm going to use that goldy color and I'm going to just add it in random spots because I want to. It's a really pretty color. It gives it a little sparkle to your look. I'm just going to put that in like little highlighted places in the beginning of my eye. I'm going to add it also to the bottom lid where I left it free of product. So there's a little spot for that. And then I'm going to go in and tightline the top lid with this dark brown pencil.
Can I stay? I like it here, can I stay? And do you have a vacancy?
I'm also going to do the outside of the lid. I don't know how you say that. And then I'm going to blend it out with powder as well, so it's not, you know, like a solid line. Blend it really good. And then I'm going to make sure everything else is blended. I'm like a blend freak, I think. And I'm going to take my lashes, my lash glue, and I'm going to just apply them with my hands as close to my lash line as I possibly can. Sometimes I mess it up, but it just happens. You're either lucky or you're not. I don't know. It's always different. And then after that, when that dries, I'm going to take my mascara and just gently try to blend my lashes into the fake lashes so it looks as natural as possible. These lashes alone are kind of more natural than I would normally wear. Then I'm going to take that big old brush and just make sure none of the product fell on my face and clean it all off. And then I'm going to take my powder again, and I'm just going to make sure no brown is on my face, just kind of dust everything off. And then I'm going to contour. The Anastasia palette, I take that color in the center right there, very lightly, and I just follow my jawline. Not my jawline, my cheekbones, sorry. And I blend up into my little bald head, and then the other side. Make sure it's really blended and even, and then I use my Makeup Geek blush. I forget what that one's called, but I just focus that on the top cheeks, top portion of my cheeks. And then I use a highlight. This one's from e.l.f. And I just apply it right there. That's like my favorite thing to do. I love it. Look at that. So love it. And then on my lips, the top of my lips. You could do like the top of your nose too, but I don't really like to do that. I just do that portion of my lips. And then I take my lip liner. This is all new to me. I never ever wear lip liner, but I just thought it'd be fun to do something different. I line my lips with this. And I like to just do the top and just all the way around my lips. And then I drag the corners in to try to blend the darkness from the corner to the center, but keep the center free of the darkness of the liner. And I'm going to take my Lime Crime Coquette lipstick. It's my favorite nude lipstick. I just love it. And I just put that in the center of my lips. There was seriously like a garbage truck like parked outside my house just like staring at me through the window. It was like freaking me out. It came around like twice around the block. I was like, what the shit? Anyways, I blend that together. Make sure it's not all weird. And I'm done. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos that I'm going to make for you.